Mike brought out the jacket today.
Bought that jacket with all his winnings.
Yeah, don't bet your house.
Ready?
I'm ready. It's go time.
Hi again, I'm Money Mike, and welcome to the second edition of Don't Bet the House. I'm here with our real estate professionals, Luke Laser and Brendan Harper, and we are here to help you win some money betting and save some money or make the most money you can on your house.
It's probably a good thing they didn't watch episode 1 because they definitely would have lost their money if they listened to you two.
Hey, that's why we call it Don't Bet the House instead of betting the house.
So pretty much pay attention to me if you want to win some money.
I liked my pick. I still like it. I lost money, but that's okay. So we're gonna start with a real estate question first. Why should people buy a house with these rates as high as they are? Should they just wait for rates to come down? Or what's you guys' opinion on this?
I think right now is the best time that we've had in the last couple of years of getting in, finding value, finding a house that you're not competing against multiple offers, you're not having to waive appraisals, you're not having to waive inspections. You actually get to make some decisions over a longer period of time. That there's not as much desperation in the market right now. I think this is one of the best times for buyers that we've had in a long time, honestly.
Now, Brendan, Luke was just talking about desperation. You know a lot about desperation. What's your opinion here?
Well, personally, I think it's a really good time to buy a house. No matter what, I mean, there's a market for everybody out there. And obviously, for years, we've seen people competing. We've seen people, overpaying for houses or, have to spend so much time. Thanks to that alarm that my time is done talking.
Your time
Your time is up,
long enough.
Mr. President.
But I just think that right now is a really good time to buy because I do think that, you're not as competing against as many people. We're watching prices come down where, for the last couple of years, they've just drastically went up. And I think we're starting to see them settle. I don't think you have to compete against as many people. And no matter what, the rates are eventually going to come down. You can refinance, but you can't change the price of your house. So, before, you were getting a lower interest rate and you were paying way more for a house. Okay, we'll pay a little bit more for the house now. And guess what? You feel like you get a savings here in a couple of years when you refinance out and you're like, wow, I'm saving $250 a month on my payment. So no matter what, I think it's a great time. Actually, if I was an FHA buyer or a young couple trying to get into the market where I don't have, the $20,000, $30,000 to pay over asking price, to pay the appraisal gap, to pay all those things, it's a great time to get in because you can refinance. So that's just kind of my opinion on it.
Two good points, and obviously, if you're paying rent, you're just throwing money out the window. So that's another reason. Start building equity, and we can help you with that right away. Here is we're going to go to our pick segment here, and we're going to start with Luke. What do you got as your pick of the week?
My pick of the week is Kentucky at Mississippi. Right now, the line is Mississippi minus 7.5, and I just think that even though Bob Stoops will disagree with this, Kentucky's still a basketball school. Even though he's done a great job with his program, they're a great defensive-oriented football team. They have a great quarterback. I think they're going to keep it a lot closer than 7 and may even pull up the upset. So I'm going Kentucky minus 7.
Now, of course, Bob Stoops is retired and living in Oklahoma, so I'm not sure he really cares about that. But the other Stoops,
Mike Stoops, or Mark, his brother.
Hey, let's go to that early with Mark. But he's got all good points there. Kentucky's definitely an incredible story and ranked 7th in the country basketball school. Wow, great for them. Brendan, what do you got?
I actually don't have a pick of the week, but what I do have is the last couple of weeks I've been doing a parlay. And so what a lot of people don't understand is what a parlay is. And a parlay is it's multiple team picks. So if you actually get on a lot of the apps, the FanDuel, the DraftKings, they'll actually give you, like I think tonight you were talking about, Luke, the pick that was out there with Waddle, scored a touchdown, they had to win, and there was a couple other things. But what it is you have to get all the picks right. So, for a beginning bettor, I think it's one of those things that you come in and with $20 and you put a 5-game bet together, and it doesn't really matter. You can pick the money line, you can pick the over and under on the score, which it doesn't matter who wins. You know, it's tougher to win those bets because you have to win all 5 of them. But a $20 bet, you know, if you put together the right one, might win you $500-600. So that's kind of actually what I'm going to do this week. I'm not picking a particular team, but I am going to pick probably a 5-game parlay. Actually, last week I picked a 10-game parlay, and I only did the over on unders on 10 NFL games, and I actually got 8 of them right, but that doesn't matter because you had to get all 10. But a $40 bet would have won me $15,000 if it hits. So for me, it's fun to do it that way. It's not as serious trying to figure out a bet. So that's actually what I'm going to do this week is I'm just going to pick probably a 5-game parlay, maybe a couple of those. I might take a couple of the quick parlays off of what app are you on? FanDuel or
the BetMGM app.
Okay.
And speaking of parlays, they have a great one for tonight's game. It's Tua to throw 250 or more yards, 2 touchdowns, and the Dolphins to cover +3.5. And that parlay is giving you +290 odds. So, you know, you put $1,000 on it, it hits. You have almost all of your closing costs covered. So
You can't beat that. Bet a little, win a lot. That's a pretty good philosophy, especially if you don't know what you're doing. Betting a little is probably a good idea.
Do you guys know what you're doing?
with what?
Your bets.
Well, I can tell you my pick of the week. It's the service academies start playing this week. Navy and Air Force. And there's an unbelievable trend in this one. The under has hit in 40 of the last 49 games in the military academy games.
Okay.
It's a tiny over-under at 37.5, but
Wow.
it's hard to argue with a trend like that. Hitting 81% clip. I'm going to take the Navy Air Force under the total as my pick of the week. And at that point,
I have a question first on this over-under because I've noticed lately on the, I generally go with the overs. I feel on most, I don't bet a lot of college, so these guys are the ones that are probably the college guys. I'm more of the NFL kind of guy, but, I used to bet the over because I felt like NFL teams scored a lot of points, but I feel like the first couple weeks, there's been a lot of low-scoring games, a lot more defensive games, not as much running game. So I think this week I'm probably going to look, if it's 44 or more, I think I'm going to go with the unders on them. I feel like that kind of seems to be the trend right now. Is there's just not teams that you expect to score a lot of points just have not really been, obviously we're all Chiefs fans here, see the Chiefs Cups here, but even them, they haven't put up the usual points. They did the first game, but they just really haven't been putting up the points that we expect.
yeah, and it's a league that kind of transforms itself, and right now defenses are going to that too deep shell, a lot of cover two, taking away the deep passes, and that's kind of changing the game, and it is creating a lot of under opportunities. So another thing that you could take to the bank. And if you do happen to lose on with our picks, Brendan has an opportunity for you to do something right here with us at Remax State Line.
So if you do end up losing all your money and Halloween's around the corner and you can't afford to get your kids a little bit of trick-or-treating candy, we are holding a trunk or treat out here. It's at our office. It is, what's the address out here? 11251 Knoll Avenue. It is October the 27th from 4:30 to 6:30. We will be posting this on our social media just to kind of remind you guys, and those of you that I know and I've done business with, you generally receive a text from me, but we'll kind of update you on this the next couple weeks and let you know what's going on with it. But we'd love to see you guys come out here and just bring the kids out here to a safe, friendly environment and enjoy a little bit of trunk or treat.
Fantastic. And I think Luke's over here chomping at the bit. He wants to tell you what you can do if you win money.
Yeah, if you bet these picks that we've said, and take all your money to the bank, I have a great listing. It's on the Missouri side, so once you hit, you go by this house. You'll still have to drive. You're only about 5 minutes from the state line, so you'll cross state line, be able to place your bets in Kansas, and and continue betting. So. This house is right near Martin City, very close to all the new restaurants in Red Bridge, not far from the restaurants in Corbin Park. great highway access. It's a 3-bedroom, 2 full bathrooms, 2 half bathrooms with a finished walkout basement. We're going to go on at $375, and we hit the market next Thursday. It's a great house for first-time home buyers. It's a great house for families. It's a great house. It should move pretty quick, hopefully. So,
Okay.
That's outstanding. Talking about having to get back into Kansas, I was sitting at a stoplight on state line. I could see the Kansas side from where I was, probably 2 blocks away from it. I couldn't make a bet. I'm sitting there. Of course, I'm on my phone at the light. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or not, but trying to make a bet, those location services work. You got to get all the way into Kansas if you want to make a bet. We know that. Anyway, that's what I got. That's all we got for you today. If you have any questions, if you want to reach out to us in any way about real estate, or you want to make fun of one of our picks, or you want to ask us to look at a pick next week, we can do that. You can contact us at don'tbetthehouse@gmail.com. We can answer any question you got, and we appreciate it. We'll see you next time on Don't Bet the House.
I like it.